good afternoon to all of you. It's just about 1:30 in the afternoon here. I'm signing in from Lagos in Nigeria, which is in West Africa. So I guess a slightly different time zone from all of you. I've been here just 5-6 months, but I've been on the African continent leading a very happy life for the last 28 years. I lived in different parts of Africa during these 28 years. And as most of you must know, Africa comprises of 54 different countries, and I've lived in 5 of them. Having done that, I've traveled across Africa quite extensively. I was fortunate that I was doing work which required me to travel around the world, so that gave me great exposure. But very early in life, I had a chance to participate competitively in long distance swimming, long distance running, and play cricket as well. I must say that I managed to find my passions wherever I've lived in the world. And one interesting piece was when I used to live in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, a very unlikely country. I managed to connect with the national cricket team there and managed to find 3 sessions a week. So that sort of explains my passion for outdoor activity and sport. In the last 112 days of lockdown, I am in an apartment which is average sized apartment, 300 square meters, but I managed to do between 25,000 to 30,000 feet steps every day. So I try and keep that regimen of remaining fit. Alongside that, I've had a reasonably long tenure of teaching. I've taught at the University of Cape Town, Graduate School of Business for 9 years, and I take a topic called DBIA, Doing Business in Africa. I read a bit of fiction, a bit of this and that, but I read as much as I can and as much as time permits. And as all of you know, travel allows for a lot of reading. In all this, I managed to write a book. The book has done reasonably well. It is a book called Amazing Africa, A Corporate Journey. It talks about me and my co-author, close friend Ranveer Chauhan's experiences in Africa, about building a business from scratch and the wonderful people, the wonderful incidents, wonderful places that we've experienced. Largely, we believe that Africa suffers from negative publicity, and we thought it's our way of giving back to a wonderful continent where we have lived and worked and prospered. In doing all of this, I now live in Lagos, and I manage a business here, which is also in agriculture. We focus on solving for food security largely. When I was 17 or 18, I got introduced to this book called On War. On War is written by a Prussian general called Karl von Clausewitz. General Clausewitz originally wrote the manuscript in German, understandably, and he titled it Vom Krieg. It was an unfinished work post the Napoleonic Wars when it eventually got published by his wife in 1832. It's important to understand the period when he wrote it and the period it got published, because some of the things I'm going to tell you, you'll find reflect today very easily in our lives, and it's a truth 200 years after he wrote it. And that's what makes it so special for me. I read it again when I was about 25, 26, when I had stepped gingerly into the corporate world and began to get familiar with corporate terminology and corporate lexicon. I realized that a lot of borrowings that the corporates were doing from military came from some of the teachings that Karl von Clausewitz talked about 200 years back. Incidentally, his work is considered a seminal work in political military analysis and strategy, and is still very extensively taught in most military colleges around the world. There are lots of borrowings from his work across military schools. Some of the impactful learnings that I came across when I read Karl von Clausewitz all those years back, and then I've read him many times over as my literacy in the corporate world grew. Some of the impactful learnings that I took away from there, which I think are easily applicable in our lives as well, and I will talk about that now. The first one, and I will use some of the lines that are there because the words are impactful, and I think we can all relate to it straight away. The first thing is he talks about the fact that however well planned a strategy is, no strategy survives the first engagement. You know, in real life, all of us plan our day when we go to work, plan our day even on a holiday, and then the day starts and suddenly our life changes. The first engagement, either due to the emotion in the engagement or due to the content of the engagement or some new information that's come our way, suddenly our day turns upside down. How many of us finish the day saying, what the hell? I had planned to do so much during the day, but I ended up doing completely different things. This is precisely what Carl von Clausewitz talks about, that after the first engagement, you're not in control. But he stresses about the fact that our capacity to think on our feet, and therefore having commanders who are able to make decisions on the spot, is critical. This having commanders really talks about our resources as people or our teams if we are talking of institutions and organizations where we work. If we are able to have the right people at the right place who have the capacity to make decisions, then we will end up with a positive outcome, whatever be the engagement. But to expect that our plans will last all the way through the entire session is foolish. The second he talks about, now I must give you a preamble to this before I get on there. We all talk very openly about the VUCA world: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's our world. And it's a term that has got serious weight in the last 15 years or so. The fact is, 200 years back, Carl von Clausewitz talked about it. We all have to alter our plans on a daily basis for our companies, for our own lives, based on the VUCA world and the new inputs that come our way. He talked about the fact that there is a 3/4 rule, which implies that 3/4 of the information necessary to make good decisions is constantly under the fog of war. He, of course, talked about it in a context of war, and therefore he talked of fog of war. In our case, there is so much uncertainty that about 3/4 of the information that we need for making decisions is unavailable or inaccurate. We still have to take the call, and that's good judgment. So that's true for our lives, that's true for the work we do. The third thing that which stuck with me for so long is about the fact that identify and concentrate on as decisive a point as possible. This talks of concentration and focus. All of us in the last 15 years must have read enough work around the term focus and the whole stress on focus. Carl von Clausewitz talked about this 200 years ago, where he said two things really. One is to identify and concentrate on decisive points, and the second thing is that remove forces from secondary points. The idea being, focus on the right things and don't fritter your energy away in doing other things. We as parents talk to our children about this all the time, right? That pick one thing, focus on it, get good at it, and you'll find mastery. Don't go around frittering around trying music, trying yoga, trying karate, trying 5 other things. Focus on one thing. This is precisely what he talked about, again, from the context of war. Then a line that I have used extensively in my life. It's about the fact that strategy is about picking the right battles, and tactics is about winning those battles. Hence, strategy is more an art, because it's a bit more abstract, it's a bit more in the future, it's a bit more about taking calls with a lot less known, while tactics is being on the spot, and it's therefore a science. There is so much more information available when you're in the skirmish, and that's true for all of us. If we decide the right strategy, the next step for us is to decide how do you win every day's battles, battle after battle after battle, so that in the end you can sew together these little battles and deliver on the larger strategy of our lives. Then he talks of a word which again is very popular in corporate lexicon nowadays, and that's called engagement. We all talk about engagement, we all measure engagement, we all try to keep our teams as engaged as possible all the time. Clausewitz and Clausewitzian theory spoke about the fact that war is not won by the mighty, it is won by those who have the morale and the spirit. That's when he talked of the concept of total war. The concept of morale and spirit and total war was about the entire polity, the entire politics, and the entire public and the entire state backing the army that was fighting the war. That gave them morale and spirit. It is true in our household. Just consider this case. You wish to take your kids out on a trip, and it happens often, and I know this from experience, that the kids may or may not be particularly sold on the idea. If you spend 15-20 minutes engaging them onto the project of taking this trip, it's likely you'll have a much better trip, rather than having them sitting in the car and complaining about the fact that why are we here, what are we doing, right? That is the power of engagement. We come across this every day in our lives, but again, it is something that I learned when I read what Clausewitz wrote that many years ago. Then a line that I must share with you about, we need a strategic philosophy that contains a seed of constant rejuvenation. We've all understood the concept of learning, unlearning, and relearning. This is what the seed of rejuvenation talks about. We have to constantly renew ourselves. And that is again something that I read about in Clausewitz, which has left a deep impression on me. So there are plenty of more nuggets for us to take away. And it's a very heavy book, but I still believe that it's a book which needs multiple readings. So I've read it about 7, 8, 9 times. It is deeply steeped in history. Nevertheless, there are so many bullets to take away that I think it's well worth a read. So the name of the book is On War, and it's written by General Karl von Clausewitz.